Original indigenes that were affected in the creation of the FCT has remained an issue that has not found solution. I personally think that it's most appropriate now to address this issue, which I think is a time bomb. There has been lots of complaints, protestations by those affected, which we all are aware of. You know, recently there was the protest against the land swap matter that is, that was ongoing at that time, saying that the issue of their compensation have not been addressed. So essentially the bill is to provide a policy, is to empower the FCDA, which is the body established by the FCT Act, to handle such matters, to be able to formulate policies that will address the issue of compensation. You know, when the FCT was created by the FCT Act, it was like a fiat. If you recall, it was a military decree that actually divested everybody else, including the states, that were cut off, by the act. It divested ownership of land within the area carved out as Federal Capital Territory, divested equally the indigenous people that were registered of their ownership of their land. So the act did not, empower the FCDA to address the issue of compensation. The provisions that relate to that deal with the issue of compensation was quite inadequate and did not actually address that matter. So the amendment is aimed at providing FCDA with the power, to make policies as regards payment of compensation. It's equally, it is aimed at addressing the issue of who is the original indigene, providing, a definition, for it. So I do believe that when this amendment is affected, the FCT will be empowered, to address the issue of compensation and have the matter settled once and for all. The provision of the FCT Act as it exists today does not actually satisfy the requirements of the Constitution, of the Land Use Act. For example, the Land Use Act provides that for every land acquired, there should be no restriction to those who are affected from seeking and having their compensation paid for the land acquired. Okay. Now, the FCT Act provides only a certain time limit within which one affected by the acquisition of his land, but for the purposes of the FCT, it gives a time limit within which an application can be made, and it relates only to fiscal development that were existing at that time, and it gave the Executive Secretary the power not to entertain any complaint after the expiration of a certain very short time limit. So you see, the Act kind of deprived people or those affected from seeking to have compensation over the land that had been acquired for the purposes of the FCT. That is not the question. Okay. The question is, were you there when FCT was created? Okay. Those who were originally on the land at the time of the creation of FCT are those that will be regarded as the original indigenes for the purposes of compensation. Maybe you are talking about original indigenes for other purposes, but this is specifically for the purposes of determining who is entitled to compensation at the time the FCT was created.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.